everybody out there in cyberspace. I'm Sharif from productionhackers.net. So today I'm going to be talking about how a big topic, robots replacing our jobs, is not the only thing we need to be concerned about. So the main topic today is going to be about stoicism and how manual labor for human beings and humanity is actually important to give us the energy to do the high level things even when we don't really need to do the manual labor when it's replaced by robots and automation. So as you know, robots have been replacing a lot of jobs already. They're already being used in factories for the assembly line, manufacturing. They're also being used in customer service in official positions, as well as being used in drones to, do things that before you would need a helicopter or you would need to climb somewhere. Or, we also have the driverless cars now, which are in testing, so that we won't even really need drivers. All this kind of automation is coming, and it's going to replace all kinds of jobs, and already has started to. In Japan, they have testing for robots that serve you and take your questions and help you, and so on, for certain customer service. And they've had different kinds of robotics technology that they've been developing for a long time. And as we know, the robotics technology being developed in the US and Russia, as well as many other countries, and China's big developer of robotics. In any case, robots are going to take the world by storm, and they're going to be pretty smart. I mean, we're going to be probably implementing some good AI in them. They're probably going to be connected to the network and so on. So they're going to be able to keep track of each other and so on. And with all these jobs being taken, all these manual labor jobs are no longer going to be needed. And a lot of the topic has been covered in the way that, either we've got to find a way to help these people so that when they lose all their jobs, they have still a way to, keep afloat and survive. And then the other side of it being, well, if people transfer their energies and skills or find new skills and talents in themselves or build new disciplines in themselves, they can use those instead to give them value in the community and humanity at large. So what does that mean? That means like more creative jobs, jobs that require more high-level decision making, that require a human touch. So those kind of jobs. But there's another aspect I wanted to bring up, which is, even let's say you did shift your focus from whatever manual labor job you had to do or you thought you had to do, being replaced by a robot, therefore to whatever your new life path, whether it be creative or you become an engineer or some other kind of business. There's more to it than just that. And I wanted to bring up that as human beings, as humanity, with these human bodies, and we have been developed, organically, I guess you could say, over time for who knows how many years. Some say thousands, tens of thousands, some say millions, some say more. But whatever it is, clearly there's still this human component that we should not neglect. And that's why I'm making this video, because I want to make sure people know that we should still do some kind of manual labor to invigorate our spirits, to put our body in motion, to get our minds fresh, to have our hearts feel right, that we're not just acting like machines ourselves, or that we're not expected everything of us without having the grounds and the basis, which is just hard work, sweat of your brow type stuff. I was inspired by the fact that I was doing my lawn today, doing gardening for my place, and I was thinking, this is important, although this can be replaced by robots, and it will be replaced by robots, and at one point some of us may not even need to do any manual labor at all, but it's important that we still do something, whether it be exercise or some kind of discipline that's not necessarily to get a certain result, let's say, I know it sounds selfish, not necessarily to contribute to mankind or something, but just for our own selves, to make sure that we're okay and that we have the spirit and the energy and the inspiration and the tenacity to actually do it and do that high level work consistently. Because if we don't have that energy, if we're not circulating that way, if we're not one with our nature in that sense, then it's hard for us to continue and be sustainable even when we do stuff that isn't manual labor. We still have to have that ground. And don't get me wrong, I don't mean that this high level work and decision making and creativity isn't part of our nature too, but it's one side of it. But the actual just grit of not just doing the work that is technical or creative, and that work ethic, you need to balance that with also just straight work to get you motivated and invigorated energy. I've always found that I always had more inspiration, more motivation to do bigger things, more creative and high level things when I based it on a foundation of tedious, hard, honest work ethic. And that if you lose that foundation of constantly just working at it every day, all the time, the sort of micro level of work, you kind of lose the energy and the tenacity, as I put it, to actually do the bigger things and to think the bigger things, and not just think them, but be inspired to actually move and take action on them. Because if you only try to do those big things out of nowhere and you don't have that consistent basis, that foundation there that you keep up with all the time, whether it be an hour a week or an hour a day or a few hours a week or however you can do it, but if you don't have that, then you'll lose steam eventually. Even if you're working on the thing you think you love the most, you'll lose steam. You still need to be real. You still need those roots there. So you need both. I mean, some people think, I'm more real if I'm just, working hard doing manual labor every day. Fuck the robots. I don't want the robot revolution. But you're not going to get anywhere, and you're actually very selfish in a sense. You may not realize that you're being selfish because you can't contribute as much if you're not doing the higher level thing, if you're not bringing the human touch, if you're not solving problems with creativity, if you're not doing high level technical work, or whatever strength you have that besides just manual labor, which anyone can do. But since it's something that anyone can do, it's also part of what makes us human, and it's part of what gives us that energy that we need to carry over, not only into those micro and small things, but to the bigger and macro things. You can't have massive action without knowing what small action is. And small action on its own is only small. So you need both sides to really make it happen. And that's what this video was all about. So I've been Sharif from productionhackers.net, and check you next time. See ya.